What would you do if the government allowed the currency to completely fail and they allowed deflation to hit from a credit-based system? Because if they allowed this productivity to work, and then every single institution today would fail.
Yeah.
Every bank would fail.
Yeah.
Every supply chain would fail. Every company would fail.
Yeah.
It would all fail. The only ones that wouldn't fail would be denominated in Bitcoin and be spending in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else would fail. Right?
Yep.
In that environment, Bitcoin would fall in price a lot, but go up in value.
Yeah.
Right? A lot, but it would go way up in value, but it would fall in price a lot. Price relative to US dollars a lot.
The growing influence of Bitcoin signals a fundamental shift in how value, trust, and productivity are measured in the global economy. As digital assets mature, they challenge the dominance of inflationary fiat systems and expose the inefficiencies of traditional finance. Despite volatility and ongoing regulatory debates, Bitcoin continues to demonstrate resilience as a decentralized store of value and a tool for financial empowerment. With advancements in technology and artificial intelligence amplifying economic change, Bitcoin stands at the intersection of innovation and monetary evolution. Its rise represents more than an investment trend. It reflects a movement toward transparency, autonomy, and a reimagined financial order built on truth rather than debt. Can Bitcoin truly serve as the foundation for a transparent and deflationary global economy, or will regulatory, environmental, and market challenges limit its revolutionary potential? If you found these insights on Bitcoin's evolving role in the global economy thought-provoking, share your views in the comments below, spread the discussion with fellow enthusiasts, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the future of finance and technology.
To save the company a ton of money. Of course companies are going to use it. Of course you would use it if you knew you could. And now these little agents, which are way better than the LLMs, because the division of labor in us is the same thing as the division of labor, and they don't need the LLM. They're a product expert in something that get better and better and better and better and better and better. And then you put another one beside them and another one you have a swarm of agents that can do anything you could teach any human to do, they can do. Already, this is accelerating. People are looking at AI today, and the AI they're using that they're so surprised of is the worst AI they'll ever see by a staggering amount. It's coming so fast, and that so fast is productivity at an exponential scale, and that productivity at an exponential scale should be exponential deflation. And so the opposite system has to be exponential manipulation, exponential control, exponential hardship, which most people are stuck in that system for. All Bitcoin is measuring the exponential productivity. So that's actually why I would say, so ask yourself the question instead of asking what will government do. What would you do if the government allowed the currency to completely fail and they allowed deflation to hit from a credit-based system? Because if they allowed this productivity to work, and then every single institution today would fail.
Yeah.
Every bank would fail.
Yeah.
Every supply chain would fail. Every company would fail.
Yeah.
It would all fail. The only ones that wouldn't fail would be denominated in Bitcoin and be spending in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else would fail. Right.
Yep.
In that environment, Bitcoin would fall in price a lot, but go up in value.
Yeah.
Right? A lot, but it would go way up in value, but it would fall in price a lot, price relative to US dollars a lot. So don't ask what a government would do, ask what you would do. Because in that system, I suspect you would beg the government, you would be more reliant, and you would say, print as much as you can. The underlying structure of all economies is on a lie. Debt is lent into existence. When banks gives you money or lends you money, the money didn't exist. That system requires inflation. it can't allow the free market to work. So, and the gravity of what I'm saying right now means all of your actions within that system that are making it stronger, it's not them, it's you, right? Mm-hmm. And you won't let it fail. No one will. We're part of it. So the agency I'm talking about is, if you know, and you're still spending 80% of your time scared about that system, spending money in that system, the agency I'm asking you to do, not for me, but for you, is to move more of your time to Bitcoin. Just move your 80%, move 10% more to Bitcoin. If you're 100% to Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin in self-custody, move 1% of your time to Bitcoin. And every step you take will defund one and further the transition to the other. If everybody did this tomorrow, it would just move. So you just saw somebody, I can't remember if it was Saylor or somebody else, come out and say, Bitcoin's going to be this, and then this much debt on top of it. But if the deflation, and he had 2/3 debt on top of it, I think he said. So that is a construct from thinking it's an asset within a system, and that system requires debt to work.
Wow, yeah.
But if you change the construct and you say all the market is trade between people, and all we're talking about is abstract concept for trade between people. If you change that concept, why would you need that much debt? In fact, worse, that debt would have to reset over time because the market would be deflationary. The debt would get more expensive. Yeah. So it would have to constantly fail. So that's actually why, and I think this is caused by people measuring Bitcoin from within their system. And I believe it's outside the system, and it's repricing everything else. So I think that's a difference. And that nuance, if you believed it was in your system, it could apply a whole bunch of other things. We also need it to run JPEGs online. We also need it to do this, right? So from that concept, you would have a whole bunch of different ideas on, it can be a database for a whole bunch of other things inside that system, right? Where if you saw it as money, and a new system forces the free market to work, the first global free market that's ever existed to work, then you would see it differently.
As technology, AI, and finance converge at an unprecedented pace, Jeff Booth believes Bitcoin stands at the center of a historic transformation, offering individuals the power to opt into a new, honest, and deflationary economic future. Jeff Booth asserts that individuals no longer need to wait for mass adoption to benefit from the Bitcoin system. They can transition now and gain early advantages as the world catches up. He believes that Bitcoin rewards those who create value and help others understand it, reflecting how free markets naturally compensate contribution and innovation. According to Booth, this moment represents the greatest opportunity in human history, far exceeding the Industrial Revolution, as artificial intelligence, robotics, and decentralized technology converge to reshape global economics. Rather than lamenting slow adoption, Booth urges individuals to learn, build, and educate within the Bitcoin ecosystem. He highlights the inefficiency of the current fiat system, where businesses pay 2 to 3% in transaction fees to accept money that continually loses value, while Bitcoin enables low-cost, borderless transactions in a currency that appreciates over time. However, as Bitcoin grows, governments face new challenges, ranging from concerns about consumer protection and environmental impacts to the use of cryptocurrencies in cybercrime and ransomware attacks. Despite these obstacles, Booth envisions Bitcoin's continued rise as people recognize its potential to anchor a more transparent, resilient, and value-based global economy. Let's get back to the interview.
But you don't have to wait for everybody to move. Right. You can live entirely in the system now. Right? Yeah. You don't have to wait. And what would the market look like for you if you lived entirely in the system and you knew more of it than everyone else? And there was 8 billion people coming to understand it. Wouldn't the market pay you a lot for helping them? That's how free markets work. The more you help people, the more you win. So I don't get frustrated at all about this. Not even the slightest. I cannot believe I get to do it. And the reflection back of my entire world is just learning this at such a deep understanding of my own vulnerabilities, going through that understanding that I don't care if I tell somebody how much I didn't know before and made mistakes to get here, because it was part of the learning that each person's going to have to go through. And that is the value, that you help more people. Because you help more people, you do better in the free market. This is the greatest opportunity. It's the greatest opportunity ever to This is way bigger than the Industrial Revolution, way bigger. You have all these colliding trends with AI and rise of technology everywhere, and what it's going to do to health, what it's going to do with robotics, all of these colliding trends on a protocol very few people in the world understand. I wouldn't be mad at them not understanding one iota. I would be understanding as much as I could, moving my time into it, and then helping them understanding, or from whatever my genius was in the world, helping other companies build more value, helping protocol stack develop, helping run a podcast to teach more people. Like, this is when I look at all my friends in Bitcoin, and like, it's amazing to watch their success when I watched them enter Bitcoin and do the same thing I did. And everyone at that time, them having the same questions, what could I do? And then started doing it, doing it, and providing so much value that you just had this crazy success. And a lot of people look up to these people today, and they were the same as you, same caught in this trap, same caught in this. They just took it. They just decided to move their energy. So it probably wouldn't look like that on houses, because people take that relative gain. They wouldn't take that much of a discount.
Yeah.
But let's take a real market signal that's happening right now that most of the world has no idea that's happening. Real market signal. So in the US, Canada, every business pays about 2.5% to 3% transaction fee to Visa or banking to be able to take money in a money that's losing money. You're paying 2.5% to 3% you work super hard to try to create value for users. And skimming off the top is 2.5% to 3% just to be able to take money in money that's losing money. In a Bitcoin, you don't have to pay anything. Right?
Yeah.
To take money that's increasing in value. And that's in the US and Canada, in kind of where money, the taxes aren't as high on it. In Africa, you might be paying 7 to 10% to take money in money that's losing money even faster. So what would you think the market would look at when Bitcoin comes into a business and says, hey, if you do this and people show up, you can keep more margin, or you can offer them a better deal and your money doesn't lose money? Of course it's going to move. And that's what is. I just got back from Southeast Asia and Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, and I'm watching this happen. I'm watching it happen in circular communities. I'm watching this happening, and it's expanding, and the knowledge of it expanding. It will one day look so insane that humans did this. Right? They paid fees to take to people to take money that was losing money. It seems so ludicrous, right? It seems ludicrous now. But people do it all the time, and they think that the reality is a manifestation of everything they do in there. It's just crazy, right? But if they want to take that money and spend that money on people that lose money, then they will fail to businesses that don't, because the businesses that don't are going to get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier and be able to give more value to their customers, and the customers are going to choose differently. We don't have to do anything. It's already done. It's going to happen.
The growing influence of Bitcoin signals a fundamental shift in how value, trust, and productivity are measured in the global economy. As digital assets mature, they challenge the dominance of inflationary fiat systems and expose the inefficiencies of traditional finance. Despite volatility and ongoing regulatory debates, Bitcoin continues to demonstrate resilience as a decentralized store of value and a tool for financial empowerment. With advancements in technology and artificial intelligence amplifying economic change, Bitcoin stands at the intersection of innovation and monetary evolution. Its rise represents more than an investment trend. It reflects a movement toward transparency, autonomy, and a reimagined financial order built on truth rather than debt. Can Bitcoin truly serve as the foundation for a transparent and deflationary global economy, or will regulatory, environmental, and market challenges limit its revolutionary potential? If you found these insights on Bitcoin's evolving role in the global economy thought-provoking, share your views in the comments below, spread the discussion with fellow enthusiasts, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the future of finance and technology.